Plaintiff Ryan Brower says he and the defendant were friends until he claims the defendant stole his camera and assaulted him. Ryan says the defendant punched him several times in the face, and he has the pictures to prove it. He's suing for pain and suffering and damaged property. Defendant Josh French says on the night in question, Ryan was drunk and had taken a sleeping pill and probably doesn't even remember what happened. Josh admits to punching Ryan, but he insists it was only after Ryan pushed him.
Tell me what happened.
On February 1st, 2010, the defendant and I were hanging out at a friend's house in Muskegon. The reason why we went there is because we had to deliver some of his stepbrother's weightlifting equipment. While we were at this house, I gave him my camera and my phone because I didn't trust the people inside, and I thought they would be safer if I gave it to him and have him put them in his car. Later in the evening, we went to the gas station down the street to bring a girl over there so she could get picked up from someone else. When we went there, I demanded my property back, which was my phone and my camera. The defendant.
Why did you have to demand it? He's your buddy.
I just said, give me my stuff.
Right.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Hey man, let me get my stuff.
Yeah. The defendant gave me my cell phone, and he told me my digital camera was gone. I became frustrated. And
did he explain?
No, he didn't. He didn't explain where it was. He just said it was gone. So
did you ask him? Do you know where?
I knew where it was. I knew it had to have been in his car or at the house that we were just at. It had to be at one of those two places. So I took his car keys out of his ignition and began to walk inside the gas station and said, if you give me my camera back, you can have your car keys back. I don't understand,
sir, how you could immediately conclude that your friend of many years, who you don't have a problem with, tells you that your camera is gone, and without any further discussion, you get upset, you snatch the keys and you leave. Could have been a reason that your camera was gone. He could have said to you, well, when I was at the corner, somebody robbed me, or they reached in, or I stopped to look at the tire because the tire was making noise and the guy ran. You didn't hear his story before you reacted.
That is true.
I would agree with that. What made you think your friend was doing you wrong before you even asked?
I thought my friend was doing me wrong because he had my camera and my phone in the first place. So I think he had to have known what happened to it or
Did he
where
have a history of doing you wrong or anybody wrong?
Nope, not before that day, no.
You're a known thief in the neighborhood?
Not at all.
Just this time?
Just this time.
He admitted to it. He said, just this time.
I guess so.
Let me hear some background from you, sir.
Well, first off, I have something off his blog on Facebook. It's just about his previous criminal convictions with drinking and just how he acts, pretty much. And
so
then,
he said he might have been drunk that day?
There was some drinking involved, yeah.
Okay.
And on the way to Muskegon, he tells me, "Oh, I got an Ambien pill, a sleeping pill that I'm going to take to party." And
now, how does that get you sleeping pills? I thought you just go to sleep.
I don't know how you party with a sleeping pill.
I know uppers or whatever, the other type of pills. Go ahead.
I guess some people like to party in their dreams. I don't know.
Yes, you do know. You do know. You've been around. Go ahead.
We get there to a friend's house in Muskegon, and Ryan had a couple drinks. I only had his cell phone that I took. We left. I took his cell phone with me to make a call. I didn't have his camera. We came back.
You never had the camera?
No, I never had the camera. We came back probably about an hour later, and I look and he's passed out, on the ground, just pukes coming on him. I mean, he was kind of a wreck. So I'm sitting there babysitting him. First thing I notice, his camera's gone. I'm trying to find out where it's at. And eventually he wakes up and he starts spazzing at everybody for his camera. So the reason I told him I had it, so pretty much so he didn't get beat up. I had his phone, that was safe. Me and my stepbrother were gonna find the camera. It's a $350 camera. We're not gonna let that happen. So he started spazzing on me. He, at one point, had his hands around my neck trying to choke me. I mean, that wasn't gonna fly, first of all. And
Did the police ever come?
Not to the home, no. So I told him we had the camera. I had the camera in my trunk. We left and went at the gas station. He demanded that he see it. I was like, all right, I have your phone. And I told him, I was like, I don't have your camera. I don't know where it's at. We're going to get it back. He pushed me, turned my car off, and took my keys and started walking off. And
His
this
story
point-
sounds more reasonable, sir.
I would like to add a comment to that, that I was on probation at the time. I'm on probation for a year for my second minor in possession of alcohol and usage of marijuana. I was not drinking on that day because that would be a violation and I would go to jail.
Violation the first time. You
It
had
would be.
violated
It
it
would be.
before.
I would receive jail time if I was caught drinking or using
Could've
any
received
drug
jail
while on
time the first
probation.
time.
To further explain the incident of what happened, when I took his keys and began to walk into the gas station, he pushed me against the brick wall of the building and began to punch me in the face twice. I'm going to put my glasses on to try to illustrate where I was hit at least one of the times.
Okay.
Here, I was hit obviously there for this to happen, for my glasses to look like this. I also have photos that the officers took
it.
when they arrived. I'd like you to take a look at.
The police came to the gas station.
The cashier called the police because she heard and saw what was going on outside.
Terrible. You're bleeding it down.
This is also a receipt from my eye doctor, if he wants to take a
Sir,
look
what
at
do
that.
you want to say about this?
I mean, he started walking off with my keys and I grabbed him. You know, he pushed me and he was out of his mind, obviously. He probably doesn't even know what happened that night. He's probably half asleep at the
Did
time.
you tell the police he was the first to hit you?
I told him what happened previously at the house when he had his hands around my neck, and I told him that
I'm
he pushed
talking
me.
about the incident they came for.
No, it was more of like a push. He didn't hit me, he pushed me, and then I
Right, did you
grabbed
tell
him.
the police that?
I tried. They took his side because
No, they write it down. They write down both sides. Did they write down your side?
I don't have a police report. I really
I
don't
do.
know.
I'll take a look. You haven't read a police report? You've never read one?
I mean, I explained to him what happened, so
Right.
that's whatever they put.
All right. Did they put his side down?
They put the whole story down. It's like a paragraph long.
Do you know whether he gave the police a statement?
I don't know what his
Did you
statement was to
read
the
the
police,
incident
but
report?
that's the complete report, and I
All
have
right.
read it.
French told me that he did not know what happened to Brower's camera. French punched Brower in the face, damaging his glasses. They spoke to you, sir, and you said nothing about him pushing you.
They pretty much asked me. I mean, they were being really rude that night,
Right.
you know. But
Yes.
and that, regardless, that's what
Judgment
happened.
for the plaintiff, $1,379. I will go with what the police report says. He, in my opinion, has tried to mislead me regarding what happened that night with you pushing him first. The police report says no such thing. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff.
We have made amends, so after all is said and done, we would hang out again. Yep.
Why not? We'll see what happens.